Where I'm from, we have a saying: if you don't stand for something, then you'll fall for anything. Now, I understand that that concept seems to be very simple for most people to grasp. However, very few people seem to be living by it today. I keep coming across individuals, especially younger people, that they don't stand for shit. They'll say they do, but they don't. Standing for it means that this is the hill that you will live and die on. You're going to fight for whatever this thing is. And it has to be something that's, visceral to you. It doesn't matter what it is. When I was a kid, for the purposes of this story, I met a guy, his name was Rome. We were both in elementary school. When I met Rome, man, we immediately clicked. We were cool as a fan. And I brought him to my house, and he would stay the night a lot. And his house really wasn't conducive to someone staying the night over there. It just wasn't a good environment. So I never stayed the night at his house, but he used to stay the night at my house a lot. We were really good friends, played video games together, just everything that elementary school kids would do together. And I'd say we were friends for a good year, somewhere in that area. And when you're a kid, I mean, that's a long time. You've known him forever at that point. One day, I was walking with this girl. I don't remember where I was going. It wasn't to school or from school, I don't think, but I was walking with this girl. And another kid attempted to gangbang on me. Now, their politics is not something that I was fully familiar with at the time. But I do know that what I said was definitely meant to be disrespectful. But you knew I didn't know what I was talking about if you knew anything about it, because I even said it wrong. But I responded in a way that was meant to be disrespectful towards that kid. And he was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell." And took off on his bike. Didn't give one fuck. Not one. So where he goes, my boy Rome is from. Now, I don't know if he tried to tell Rome, or if somebody else told Rome, or if this kid was telling somebody else and Rome heard it, and he knows me. So, but Rome comes running. I hear him yell my name. We're a few more blocks down the road. We've gotten a little ways away, but I hear him call my name, and I look back. Man, here he comes, just running towards me. Boom, 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 boom. And Rome was a big kid. I was not that big back then. He was already a naturally big kid. And I still remember him running towards me, man, in his starter jacket. And he's just running towards me, running towards me, running towards me. He yells my name a couple more times. Of course, we stop him. I'm waiting for him to come up. Man, as soon as he got up to me, man, that motherfucker cracked the shit out of me. Boom! Hit me hard as fuck. Now, at that moment, I think he even made my nose bleed. I was lucky that he didn't drop me. That's the truth. Because, I mean, he cracked the shit out of me. And at that point, though, he took the moment to explain to me why he hit me. Don't you ever say this, and this about such and such and blah, blah, blah. Now, he had the advantage when he first cracked me. But he took a few seconds to explain to me what was going on, and which is, normal. You are, oh, motherfucker, this is such and such. You know what I mean? Like, that's a normal thing, believe it or not. In those couple of seconds, I had, gained my wherewithal of what was going on. I don't know, the next 5, 6, 7, whatever it was, punches he attempted to throw at me, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't even, I mean, they were moving. I was getting the fuck out of the way. I didn't swing back. At this point, I was still in shock. I wasn't even angry that he hit me. I was confused still, even though he had, told me what this was about. When he didn't hit me with the next several blows that he threw, I think he realized that he wasn't in a good position, because he kind of backed up and then gang banged on me one more time and took off running. And when I was sitting there, I just remember me and the girl looking at each other, and all she said was, "Why didn't you move out of the way of the first one?" And I swear to God, I was like, that is a good question. I did not have an answer for it back then. But she didn't even trip on nothing else, except for the fact that I got hit with the first one. But after that, I showed that he wasn't, because he was big. So he was super slow compared to me. He was just muscular. He wasn't like a super fat kid. He was just already a muscular kid. Now, that day, I learned a gang of fucking lessons. And I've never seen Rome since. I never seen Rome since that day. Not one time. I learned a bunch of lessons that day. Definitely one, make sure you're aware of what the fuck you're talking about when you open your mouth and what the ramifications and consequences of that could be. Two, man, the reason why Rome was able to hit me was because I could not recognize the aggression. Not when he was running at me, even though he was running at full fucking speed like a tank directly at me. I saw my friend coming towards me. That's all I saw. I didn't see the aggression I didn't hear it in his voice, didn't see it in his face, didn't see it in his mannerisms, nothing. So he got right up on me and just hit me, bang. I mean, I didn't see it coming at all because it was just such a shock. So I learned that. But one of the things that came from this, and it was something that, I can only interpret now looking back on it. Where I'm from, you are most often raised into the gangs that you're part of because you live in that neighborhood or your family are all that same gang. It is a thing where you may end up from a different gang than where you originally lived or where your family is from. That does happen. It is not common, but it does happen, or it's not. It's semi-common. It doesn't happen all the time. It's not like hyper rare. But we're raised with that concept. We're also, just so you guys have a full understanding of what this kind of environment is, we are raised with the concept that you go to prison to become a man. It is in prison that you become a man. Just so you guys can get that concept. I'm not telling you this is a good thing. I'm not telling you this is the right thing. So please stay out of my comment section because you can't figure out when I'm speaking on two different things, you put them together in your own mind and come up with your own fucking scenario because your comprehension level is so low. But we are raised with that concept. Even though we were in elementary school, now probably like 5th grade, something like that, 6th grade, somewhere around there. So we're already, acting like adults in the streets. And even though I was his friend, and we were good friends, I had violated a principle. I violated a principle that he stood for, that he was raised to stand for. Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. That's not the point. The point is, I violated a principle that he stood for and had been raised to stand for. Our friendship did not come in the way of him standing for what he was supposed to stand for. It was what he believed. Whether you think we can believe in things at such a young age, we're brainwashed, whatever, doesn't matter. Point is, he stood on business. He stood for what he believed. Even though we come from such a negative and antisocial environment, believe it or not, there are a lot of good lessons that came from that environment. We do believe in loyalty. Now, most of you guys watching fucking TikToks and reading the news or whatever else, you guys only come across the individuals for the most part that are doing each other dirty. Oh, so-and-so got on the stand and he testified against everybody. While that does happen, and does happen with regularity, there are also a gang of motherfuckers that never turn on each other, regardless of what the situation is. That does happen. There are people that stand on their shit regardless of what happens. When you're from a gang and you go into the county jail and you're put in the holding tank and it's 30 of your ops and you're still like, nah, this is what it is. You're standing for what you believe. Whether it's a good thing, whether it's a smart thing, whether it's a positive thing, other problem. You guys have to figure out what it is that you stand for. Now, it can be whatever the fuck you choose. As kids, we were put in an environment where we were given things that we could kind of believe in. You still had to choose to, don't get me wrong. Lots of people also, they decided to go a different route. They, kept their head down, did their schoolwork, and they just tried to get the fuck out. Some people go to art schools so they can learn to act, play an instrument, whatever. Some people just play basketball. Some people dedicate their lives to sports, skateboarding. There's dancing, and there's all kinds of areas where you can devote yourself. This is just something that some of us choose to devote ourselves to. So you could choose whatever you want, but you have to know what the fuck you stand for. If you do not stand for something, you will fall for anything because you're like a leaf in the wind. You got nowhere, you got no concept of what you're fucking supposed to be doing. You don't have a North Star to always guide you. You have to know what you stand for. I don't care if you're watching this and you're barely turned 18. I don't care if you're 58 years old. If you have been living your life up to this point without standing for something, without standing for it, without believing in it in totality and recognizing that this is the hill that you will live and die upon, then you need to identify those things. What are you working towards? What do you believe in? What do you want in this world? If you don't know those things, you can never make them happen. And it is super easy to fall into the grind of having a 9 to 5 job, waiting for the weekend to party and fucking drink, waiting to go watch a movie, watching TV, YouTube, TikTok all night after work. It's easy to fall into those fucking grooves when you don't have something guiding you, when you don't have something that you believe in, when you don't have something that you're working towards. When you truly want to work towards something, it doesn't matter what it is. All of you guys watching YouTube right now, you guys are content consumers, right? So you guys are moving fucking through YouTube, going every which direction. All the people that you see that are putting in a lot of work on their YouTube shit, they're putting in most likely more work than they are if they go to a 9 to 5 job. The stuff that Ely and I and the rest of us are doing in this studio, we are doing way more than a 9 to 5 job. But I have a guiding star. I know what I stand for. I know what I want. I know what I'm aiming towards. I know where I want to go. That keeps me focused. That keeps me motivated. That keeps me moving towards these things. So when I'm tired and I don't want to do something, I still do it. As long as my brain has enough energy to focus, I'm doing it. You got to know what you want. Even if it's just like a physique, if you just want a specific physique, if you know what it is that you want and you really, really want it, you're going to keep going to the gym. Even though you had a hard day at work, even though your girl broke up with you, you'll stop fucking drinking because you'll recognize after a few times of doing it, you'll be like, man, I drank on Friday night, it's Monday, and I still feel like shit. My workout is not going as good as it usually does. Man, you'll start getting yourself in line based on the things that you want. Find out what you want. What do you stand for? You need to identify this. And I mean, get some paper and a pen, sit down and identify what do you stand for. Lots of families will be like, man, family means everything to me, right? Lots of guys will say family means everything to me. They've got that last name on their top of their back. That's fine. If your last name is what matters to you, what are you doing to make sure that your last name is put up prominently? What are you doing to make sure that your family is always taken care of? What are you doing to make sure that you're there with your family, that you're doing whatever it is that's supposed to be important? I don't care what it is you want. I don't care what it is you stand for. Make sure that you fucking find something. One of the most powerful ones that I like is I've known a bunch of people that were in the military. Not just in the military, but believed in the military. And one of the things that several of them used to say to me is they were like, I will die to defend your right to say whatever it is you want to say, even if I don't agree with it. That is a fucking powerful statement. They believe in everyone's right to be as stupid as they want, say the dumbest shit that they want. Also, some smart people. Most of you are fucking stupid. Even though they may disagree with it, they're going to fight and die for you and defend your ability to do it. That is powerful. I don't know if you guys are fully comprehending like how powerful that is. I hope so. Because that's fucking massive. So whatever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that you want to fight for, whatever it is that you want to stand for, get a piece of paper, get a pen, sit down, figure it out, and start living by that. If you have your foundation, if you have a guiding light, if you have a North Star, you'll know where you're supposed to be, you'll know how you're supposed to act, you'll know what you're supposed to be doing, and you'll know where you're supposed to be going. And you'll start moving towards those things. But you got to believe in it viscerally. It's got to be something that pulls on you from the inside so strong that it's capable of overwhelming all those other feelings that you're feeling. I'm too tired. Man, I'll do it tomorrow. Man, it's not really that important. Man, I've been doing this for months and I haven't got any results. Any of those things. You'd be like, oh, well, time to do it one more time. Well, I guess we're going to do it again today. Well, I guess we're going to do it for a few more months until we fucking crack. Whatever it is that you guys want, man, figure that shit out. You, as men, you need to figure out what you stand for. You figure out what you stand for, you'll never fall for anything.